Hello everyone, my dear listeners, students, anybody who interested in programming. Today we start a new course. It's kind of a continuation of the previous one. Let me remind you, the previous was object-oriented programming with Python. Today we are going to learn how to apply object-oriented skills in real-life apps. I think it's a very common methodological mistake in many object-oriented programming books. They explain the concepts in details, but they don't show how to use them. In other words, it's not enough to show you a hammer or a drill. You have to show how to make holes using a drill. You have to show how to hit the nails using the hammer. So now we are going to do that, and we are going to try now real life. When I say real life, I mean apps with the windows, with the graphics, with the all kind of widgets, because that's what we use right now. Console apps are basically gone. Yes, they can still be used, but mostly consoles, commands, console applications used nowadays by system administrators, network administrators, but ordinary people, they use so-called GUI apps, graphical user interface apps. They are intuitive, they are easy, however, they harder to develop because this simplicity comes with a certain price. Developers, GUI apps developers, most of the time they have to have very solid object-oriented foundation, understanding, and in order to help to create real-life apps, there are many frameworks, many libraries created. Let me name just a few. Windows SDK library, MFC library, Android SDK library for mobile apps, Cocoa Touch library for iOS apps. So there are many comprehensive frameworks to help you to quickly get started developing complex and versatile apps with Windows, widgets, graphics, multimedia, and so on. Okay, talking about Python, we have a library or a framework which is called tkinter, and this is basically what you need to know to start creating real applications. tkinter is the topic of this course. So we are going to learn how to apply OOP concepts in real life. We are going to learn how to use various tkinter classes and methods. But let's start from hello. So very simple application. So you see in line 1, I connected library. I imported all the classes from tkinter library to my application. Then I got a window. So this is crucial line. You instantiate an object of tk class. Excuse me. So this is the main window. Root. You can call it whatever you like, but you need to create a main window. First, you have to instantiate it. And then what I did in lines 4 and 5, I set up the title of my app and I set up the initial size, 400 by 300 pixels, the size of my window. Later on, of course, I can change it because this window I create is resizable. It's flexible. You can drag the border and you can extend it or shrink it. Line 7, constructor. You see, now you're learning how OOP ideas is applied to real life. They're not just nice and abstract ideas. They help us to create real apps. So label, it's a class, it's a widget. By the way, widget is a visual element of your screen. We are going to cover many different widgets, but label is the simplest widget because it's just a piece of text you want to place on a screen. And you see the constructor. You see, by the way, keyworded arguments. Review my previous course, please. Python fundamentals. It's very common for Python functions call. Not only provide the arguments, but explain them. So keywords are to help us to read the function call. And you see, I created a label and it's located within my window. So master parameter is where your label belongs to. Parent window. Any widget has to be in a certain container. We call it master. This is maybe the most important parameter of the constructor, what kind of text I want to see on my screen, and this is the font. You can, of course, apply to your text different fonts, different sizes, different styles. I choose Arial, 40, and bold. It's not enough to instantiate the widget. You have to add it to the screen using pack method. By the way, for the label widgets, I use prefix LBL. Later on, I'll explain you why I add to the widgets three letters prefixes. So line 10 is to initialize messages loop. Because when you create real apps, operating system sending you as a programmer a lot of messages. In order to receive them, in order to process them, you have to set up so-called message loop. That's sorry, line number 10. Okay, sounds good. So let's run it. I have to save my changes. And you see, we did just 10 lines of coding, but how complex this app, how many actions it can do. You see, I can resize. You see the text automatically repositioned at the top vertically and at the center horizontally. You see system menu. You see minimize button working, maximize button working, restore button. close button. So with excuse me, with just a few lines of coding, we unleashed the power of the framework of the tkinter library, and we create basically a full-scale normal Windows application, and you see it's working fine. By the way, this framework, tkinter framework, is kind of universal and can be used also on other platforms, not only Windows. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your comments and likes and subscriptions as always. And we keep going. So tomorrow we are going to discuss labels in greater detail. The most popular widget label going to be discussed in our next lesson. All the best to you. Bye bye.